Okay, everyone, let's get started, please. We're just a few minutes late. Thank you. Hi.
I can hear you on Zoom.
Thank you for coming. Sorry for the late notice. We've had a little bit of turnover here at staff. Andrea Fountain has taken another job with a not-for-profit. If you've ever spent time in the townhouse, things can get pretty hectic here, and I think she is more productive in a calmer atmosphere. So we wish her the best. We are in the capable hands of Shannon McAndrew now, so things will move forward.
Who's already doing a full-time job and a half, but that's...
Exactly. But you know what they say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Yes, I've heard that.
So I've got two things that I'd like to talk about before we go around the room. And the first is a lot of the people on your boards and committees, you see that their expiration date is May 31st. That was kind of a legacy from when we used to have town meeting in April. So don't worry, everybody stays on the board and is a voting member right through the end of town meeting. Having said that, many of you in the room and many of the people on your committee will, in fact, have a term expiring. And we're trying to recruit and invite more people into our boards and committees. So I would really hope that when you've got an expiration or a vacancy coming up, that you would make a good effort to get new people onto the boards and committees. You might have seen that the Rec Commission did a really good job of putting an ad on Facebook. They put an ad on our website. The Town Meeting Study Committee just wrapped up their work, so we have a lot of capable people available there. So it's really up to us, and we can help, the Select Board can help to bring more new voices into our boards and committees. So let's keep that in mind. The other thing I wanted to mention is looking forward to FY26. The Select Board will be looking at our goals and hopefully finalizing them in July? In July. So this has been something that we've been doing quite well as far as developing goals, using those goals to measure our success over the year, using those goals to set the town manager's goals, and those goals are the goals that trickle down through the entire organization. So we're doing a better job of aligning the work that we do as a town against our overarching goals. So with that in mind, I would like to hear from you if you think that there are any goals that we should consider when we put together ours. And also, I would ask you, when you develop the goals for your boards and committees, that you wait until you see what the Select Board goals are so that they align with our thinking. Okay? Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, we hope to have them published in July. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go around.
Okay,
You want to start, Pat?
I sure will.
Good.
Pat Nelson, the Middle School Building Committee. It's been a really fabulous spring. The classes have started, the kids are in there. It's, the feedback has been fantastic from the kids, the teachers, and from the parents. Coming up is on June 11th, we're going to have the ribbon cutting and open house. So that's when the school will be open to the whole community. We'll have our ribbon cutting. We'll be honoring all of those people, past and present, who served on the Middle School Building Committee, and celebrating this amazing school. I just wanted to say that we're still under budget. It's possibly going to be $5 to $6 million under budget, which is really amazing. And I just wanted to note that I personally, as a citizen, feel that the town made some really good decisions in terms of allocating town staff to this project. And I think that that has made a huge difference in how the budget worked, the finances, and working with our contractors. So I just want to make that note. The auditorium seats 420 people. Just thought I'd say that. A lot of interest in that auditorium. They had their first concert there. I think it was the 5th grade chorus had a concert in the auditorium, so it's up and running. Rug isn't in yet, but it will be soon. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful school. Really is. Eric, do you want to go?
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Eric Dahlberg from the Finance Committee. We have wrapped up work on our final written deliverable for the year. That's our big annual report. We made it for the deadline to be included in the town meeting briefing book. It starts on page 94, if you're interested. It's also posted as a standalone document on the FinCom website, so please do check it out ahead of town meeting. We have our last regular meeting tomorrow, Thursday, the 22nd. At that meeting, in the context of goals, we'll take a look back on our performance on our goals for fiscal year '25 in the spirit of improving for next year, collecting feedback from the members. We'll also bid farewell to two longtime FinCom members, Dee Ortner and Greg Gariello, whose terms wrap up with town meeting. So from there, it's full speed ahead to town meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Mike?
Mike Lawson, Chair of the Economic Vitality Committee. Following on what Mary and Eric said, we're not reviewing our goal. We're reviewing our goals from this last year, but we're also reviewing the process we use to be able to determine those goals in alignment with not only the select board, but Envision Concord 2030. So we're beginning that process today. We also have members who are terms are expiring, and so we'll be looking for new members, and we've already made some outreach to the various constituencies that comprise the committee.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Bill, do you want to go?
Bill Maracek, Chair of the Personnel Board. The employee handbook is moving along forward to the legal right now. This is the document in which the PPPs have all been reviewed, edited, and presented as to the legal for their review. It really has demonstrated the great work that the Concord Human Resources People Department, as well as their outside consultant, Kelly Crum, have been responsible for this particular project. Which has taken a huge amount of time. Second of all, the employee performance reviews are nearing completion. Now, what's unique about this is that this is the first year in which there has been a complete set of objectives that have been established, as well as stretch objectives for purposes of the merit component. And I also want to just comment briefly on the goal setting. And we've talked about goal setting already, but I think the important thing here is if you peel away the layer and you understand that there's technology that has been implemented really through the leadership of the town manager, as well as the CIO, Amalia McCaffrey, to put together a particular program that outside would probably be purchased, but they have decided, and rightfully so, that they have the capacity and the ability to craft this particular program in a way which is obviously going to benefit the citizens. It's going to benefit the select board, the members of the various boards, and the citizens, in a way to have something that's very, very impressive to be able to track what's taking place. So I shout out to the town manager and her staff for the leadership here.
Thank you, Bill. Dan?
Hi, my name's Dan. I'm a co-chair of the Ag Committee. We had a really great spring forum with speakers from American Farmland Trust and Delia from Natural Resources. We're working on a farm passport, which this is something we did last year. It's a little booklet that we pass out at our various farms, and visitors can pick them up and get 5 different farms to stamp in their little booklet, and then there's a prize. So it's a project to try to encourage people to go to the various farms in Concord. We've got, and then the award is a $50 worth of produce. The award was given out at Stone Soup. Stone Soup this year is probably going to be on September 21st. And then our Concord Ag Day is scheduled for September 6th. I'm working on a draft for farm housing needs that we had some really good conversations with some of the various housing people in town that are, some of you are in this room, and it was suggested that we come up with kind of a clear plan of what the needs are for farmers and for housing in Concord, so I'm working on that. So that's pretty much it.
Very good, thank you. Thank you. Carmen?
Good morning, everybody. Carmen Reese, Town Moderator. Town meeting is coming, June 2nd, Monday. And everywhere I've had a chance, I've been reminding people that we're starting at 6:30 this year, not 7 p.m. And it's in theory, we will be in earlier and out earlier, and that may work better for a lot of people. We have assigned, for every board or committee and every citizen who is sponsoring an article, we have assigned presentation times, and the boards and committees have indicated to me whether they would like to speak from the podium briefly in support or against an article. If you haven't come to me to speak from the podium and you wish to have your recommendation recognized by me, to simply report it that so-and-so committee recommends affirmative action, just send me an email, moderator@concordma.com, .org. MA.
Gov.
Gov,
Gov.
thank you. All right, it's early. Got to get all the way through this cup of coffee. Just send me an email, and I'm happy to report your recommendation, or you're always welcome to come to a microphone on the floor and report your committee's recommendation. We have 2 high-interest articles pre-scheduled on Tuesday night. At 6:45 p.m., we have the Stormwater Enterprise Fund expenditures, and on Wednesday, June 4th, we have, at 6:45, we have the citizen petition, which is the Continuing Care Retirement Community Overlay District, also known as Newbury Court, and that has been a hot topic. There are 2 other articles, at least, that are high interest on the warrant. We didn't especially schedule those. The first one is the roads borrowing project, but that's scheduled to come up second of the articles that we will take up for full deliberation. There didn't seem to be any need to move that. The other one is Article 13, which is the amenities building at the high school. And at the request of the school committee, we didn't move that one so that all of the school articles could be consolidated on a single night. For those parents of school-age children who wish to get a babysitter one night instead of more than one night. Everybody's going to get this briefing book in the mail. It's available now on the website. Bring it to town meeting with you because we will be referring to it. It's got all the motions in it. It's got the background material in there. It's got the warrant articles. It's got board and committee recommendations. It's got the consent calendar. It's got the finance committee report. So everything is in here. And I thank the town meeting study committee and Keith Bergman in particular for recommending that we try this approach out, and I hope that people find it helpful at town meeting. You can. There won't be extra copies of this at the meeting. It was an expensive exercise to produce this book. So I highly recommend that you bring your copy from home or download it onto your own smart device and do the downloading at home because you cannot count on there being enough Wi-Fi at CCHS for doing that download exercise. It's a big document. The other thing I'm going to note is we will have electronic voting this year. This is what it looks like. The clip looks like this. This is a dummy. But I'll pass this around so you can look at it. We're going to have lanyards on ours because I was terrified that people were going to lose these little things, drop them, step on them. So they will be on lanyards so you can put them over your neck. So I'll pass that around. You can just have a look at it. They're really simple to use, and we will have we'll have a short couple of test votes for people to see how they work, and we'll see what the votes are. They'll be displayed on the screen once they are complete, not while the voting is happening. The proposal is going to be to use the clickers, not for really simple things, like if someone calls the question, we'll just put our paper things in the air, but for votes on motions under articles or motions to amend, we'll use these electronic clickers. We will be passing out, you're still gonna get your paper voting slips, because that's our backup system. If we have any kind of problem, we go back to the paper. So, those are my announcements. They were kind of long this morning,
That's
but
fine.
this is my time of year, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Want to go first down there, or?
No, let's go this way, okay?
Sven Weber, Public Works Commission Chair. Just a few things. We are very small commission, just 5 people, so every person counts. So just want to inform you about some of the changes. So I'm phasing out as a chair. We already elected Andrea Salomon as the incoming chair, effective immediately after the end of town meeting. So that is number one, and we also added a new person. We had one person leaving. That would be Chris Reynolds will join the Public Works Commission with her background on the Finance Committee, knowing the town. I think is a very, very good addition to the Commission. So that's one. Last week, Wednesday, we had a very packed Commission meeting. We went from approving the stormwater fee structure over to snow plowing on for affordable housing, where we had a very close interaction, by the way, with the different housing authorities here in town. I think this was a very constructive working relationship. We covered and discussed connection of the amenities building to sewer and the related issues with that. And then we also had discussions on White Pond. But I think it's what I really want to bring out here as my last participation in this round here is please be aware, Public Works is a very complex operations. Yeah, it's in the end, it touches the complete infrastructure of the town. And each time someone is touching something in town, most likely Public Works needs to be involved. And be aware that every extra solution, every extra thing needs kind of a special attention and again, eats more resources in Public Works. So everything that can be done in a standard way, please try to do it in a standard way, because it will save us cost. Each time we do extra sausage, that costs resources, and it means it costs money. And the other thing, if you have extra thing, bring it ahead early in the process to the Director of Public Works and Cathcart and or to the Commission. So last minute surprises, again, are difficult in a complex operations like Public Works. And often you don't know what the issues could be. So rather than second guessing what the issues are, bring it ahead early, discuss it with Ellen or the respective super, and then get the feedback, what needs to be done and what timeline and what is needed for Public Works. And again, this is important to save us all time, to save us conflicts, to save us any issues when you try to achieve something.
Thank you, Sven. Julie?
Hey everyone, Carrie couldn't make it, so I'm going to cover both school districts this morning. Last night we had our joint school committee meeting. Cynthia Rainey, Alexa Anderson, and myself all had our last meeting. So all 3 of us will be rolling off. We will reseat after town meeting. So as Mary said, I will be in place until the Concord town meeting.
Yep.
And then really exciting news for the Concord, K through 8, they passed a cell phone policy, so to stay ahead of what the Attorney General most likely will do around mental health for kids. So there is now a bell-to-bell policy, no smartwatches or cell phones, K through 8. So that will go into effect likely in the fall, but really happy to see that come to fruition. Pat, you already mentioned the ribbon cutting, but I just want to say thank you to you and the rest of the committee. It's been, you've done an incredible job, so thank you very much.
Yes.
The amenities building passed in Carlisle town meeting, so this past weekend, Carlisle had their town meeting on Sunday afternoon. Thank you to the Carlisle's town meeting study. It was wonderful. Somebody with 2 small children, it was just great, starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There was tons of babysitters around the playground that we had. There was food trucks, really great setup. We've been using the clickers, those work great, and everything really went really well. It passed pretty easily, a lot of really good discussion, 100% CPA funds, and a huge thank you to the Carlisle CPC, FinCom, Select Board, and Town Manager Ryan McLean for the support. We have done a podcast and a poster session on the project ahead of town meeting that we're going to share with the Concord folks as well, so be on the lookout for that, just to direct people to FAQ. We also have it on the school committee website if you have questions, because I know there was a lot. I also want to dispel questions that we got around CPC. There's a sentiment that the CPA funds from Carlisle will just sit there in case Concord wants to revisit it. That's not true. If Concord does not pass the amenities building, the CPA funds in Carlisle will be returned to the CPA. So I want to make sure everyone was clear on that. They will not be held. It's part of the way that we did this. We are pushing for the amenities building for, obviously, because of the increased complaints that we've seen. And one of the things that we spoke about last night at our meeting is we've been asked for formal complaints. And I think much like the work we did with Eric and FinCom around out-of-district tuition for special education, it's just a really sensitive topic. We don't have people filing complaints talking about accidents that they have. So when we're talking about folks that are multi-abled and disabled, they're not going to file a complaint saying that they had an accident in the bleachers. So a lot of the complaints that we get are verbal. They're said with confidence and privacy. So I just want to make sure that we understand that. And some of these things also come out. It's 2025. Complaints come in social media, Reddit, all these other places. So I know there's been an ask for formal. We've given some of those. You'll see that in the write-up from Carlisle town meeting. But I also just want to make sure that that's handled with delicate hands. We continue to wrap our arms around the CCHS community as we've come into about a month since the horrible tragedy that we've had. I just want to thank the Concord Carlisle Foundation. They made a very generous donation for us to extend 3.5 counselors, including interns, till the end of the year. We are now looking for summer support. I've been at the high school quite a bit. I happen to have a therapy dog, so she's been put to work. It's just been really hard, but we're moving into senior week. We have graduation coming up, not this weekend, the following weekend. We just had prom, and it's a different year, but I just publicly want to say thank you to Dr. Hunter, the principals, all the guidance counselors, and the CCHS community for all their support of these kids and staff. So,
Thank you, Julie.
thank you.
Thank you.
Just quickly, I would love to have whatever links you can give
Sure.
us for the amenities building articles so that we can put them on the town website
Sure.
under Article 13 also, so that if people are only coming there.
Yeah, happy to. Thank you.
Mark, do you have anything?
I'll just quickly mention, since I don't see anybody here representing the Warners Pond Task Force, that the task force is meeting again tomorrow night. That is projected to be the second to last meeting. There's been a lot of community feedback and work done to try to choose or express a preference for direction around the choices for Warners Pond, and so there'll be a discussion and an attempt to come to consensus around that. That's 6 o'clock, and I believe, and I'm gonna double check, but I believe it's at Harvey Wheeler's, Sven? Does that sound right?
I only know it's 6.
Please check the calendar if you want to know the location. It's also on Zoom.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
I'm going to go to Zoom now. Dan Gainsborough, Hi, Dan.
Hi. So a few things. For those of you that may not be aware, well, I'm the chair of, I'm the co-chair of the MCI Concord Advisory Board, and giving you an update on that. We held the first of two community outreach events. The first one was on the April 30th, and the next one coming up will be on the 28th of May. And I encourage everybody to participate to spread the word. We had a very good turnout on the first couple of days and got a lot of wonderful feedback. The other thing that I want to make people aware of is that we have now set up a website. It is mci-concord.org. And you'll see when you visit, there's a lot of really good information on that. It's kept, they're doing a good job of keeping things current. Frequently asked questions, and there's also a survey on that, an online survey that folks can do, and that might be a little more convenient for certain people. The other item that I want to mention is that we've begun to develop our visioning scenarios, which will be, the goal is to arrive at, if possible, a single development scenario. And those versions of those will be shared at the May 28th meeting, so people can have a look at them, at least in a preliminary format. And we're also in the process of developing selection criteria by which we will evaluate those various scenarios. So that's pretty much what I have to report.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Mark has anything else?
Thank you, Dan. Who else is online?
Vince Carlson.
Vince Carlson. Vince, do you want to give us an update from, I think, PEG Access? We'll come back there. Rose?
Oh, Vince unmuted.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Rose Felix Kratzley from the DEI Commission. Sorry I can't come on camera. I just actually landed back from LA at Logan Airport, and my oldest just graduated. Sorry I'm not on camera. But some updates from the DEI Commission are we have our June community coffee on June 3rd from 1 to 3 at the Goodwin Forum at Concord Library. We also have several celebrations this month for Pride and Juneteenth, which we welcome the community to join us for both community coffee and several of the events and celebrations this month. And more details will be posted on the DEI section of our website, as well as going out as town alerts around these events and activities. We also are implementing, in response to several community circumstances, an incident reporting system through the DEI portion of the town website to be able to gather data on various incidents that are happening in the community. But those are, I would say, the highlights that I like to share. So thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Who else is online? Giannis?
Vince raised his hand.
Okay,
Oh, Vince, you're ready. Good.
we can't hear you, Vince.
Vince, I think you're muted on your end.
Or
We
something.
can't see you either.
Okay.
I think I'll go up. Vince, we can't hear you and we can't see you, so I'm going to go out and see if I can talk with MMN to see what's happening. But in the meantime, in the room, Giannis, let's wait. Giannis, do you want to?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. This is Yannis Tsitsas. I'm the co-chair on the Board of Assessors. We finished with our abatements for this year, and we are okay as far as the board members. And our chair, Dr. Mira Krishnantili, will make a motion to approve the HERO Act at the next town meeting. So that's my update on my side.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go around the room while, actually, Mark, you want to check with
Yeah,
MMN and see what we can do to get
Shannon
Vince?
says he's just not working.
It's not, okay.
So Vince, if you can try and check the microphone on your end, on your Zoom connection, we'll try and get back to you.
Okay,
Why
Sarah.
don't we go to Sarah, and
Sarah,
Sarah, use
yeah.
the handheld mic, please. Yeah,
Yes, please.
just grab that one.
Yeah, just pick the.
Thank you. Sarah Grimwood from the Natural Resources Commission. 2 quick updates. The garlic mustard pull is ongoing at the moment and ends on Sunday. So we encourage folks to pick up a bag from the Natural Resources Division and pull garlic mustard. And secondly, we do have an opening coming up because one of our commission members' time is up. So I hear what you're saying about bringing in new blood, so we'll see what we can do there.
Great, thank you.
Stefan Bader, Concord Housing Authority. Our big news, the moderator had a visual, I'll hold up a visual of the groundbreaking at Assabet Bluff. That was on April 16th. Habitat for Humanity is off and running with the project, and it's official. And we've added 2 more units to the state housing inventory of affordable housing here in Concord. 2 other brief updates. We had our annual election of new officers, and unfortunately for all of you here, you're stuck with me again for another year. So I'm not. And the last update was we had a meeting last month, a public meeting on smoking policy, and you wouldn't think that smoking policy is controversial or difficult, but it is because the rules about smoking cigarettes, smoking marijuana, what's a reasonable accommodation, it gets complicated very quickly. We had a public meeting with the residents to hear from them. There's a legal training happening for staff this month, and I expect we will revisit that topic during the summer. That's the update from the Housing Authority.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you. Good morning. Eric Moore from the Town Meeting Study Committee. So we've wrapped up our work. We've had our last meeting. Shannon McAndrew, the high endurance Shannon has updated our website, and our committee report is on the website. There's also an email went out to a select board and folks on town staff with a copy of the report as well. But it's there on the Town Meeting Study Committee website, and you can see that. As a complement to our work as a committee, I wrote a document around sort of a vision for communications and increasing public engagement. I haven't socialized that yet, but it's also up on the website and could be something that we look at. I'm also wrapping up some data analysis and participation this week, and then also a reflection on sort of what I learned from town meeting. All is going to be up on the website as well. But basically, our work as a committee is done, and thank you. Thanks to Shannon, whose support has been invaluable. Thanks to Carmen as well, whose knowledge and wisdom has been very, very valuable as well. And thanks as well to the Select Board. So thank you.
Thank you. I read the report. It's very, very good. It's tight. It's succinct. It captures what we asked you to do. So thank you, and thank you to the whole committee. Or what Carmen asked you to do.
Town meeting.
The town meeting asked you to do. That's right. Very good. Thank you.
I'm Brad Hubbard Nelson. I'm co-chair of the Climate Action Committee. And we have a meeting this evening where a new chair will be selected, hopefully. I'm looking forward to that. A bunch of turnover, but we have 1 new member voted in and 2 who have accepted that they will either submit a green card or want to join. So we'll be full. Working on a few things. And most of the work for the rest of the year is going to be working on updating the climate action plan through the end of the year, together with a consultant, assuming the money is there. Other work, there was so Eric Sims led a session about an energy services company yesterday, which is kind of what the town can use to manage energy in town buildings and plan for the kind of capital changes a company would manage that process, and it would be paid for magically by energy savings. Interesting how it'll work, but that's going to be a long process, but help the town and the schools work together to lower emissions and lower energy use and save money. Then there's some work going on in figuring out what to do with the composting pilot, which is not functioning that well. Megan Zamuto is kind of heading that up, and she's going to be working with the committee pretty closely when Eric leaves. And the other thing, we have an interest group working on network geothermal, which is trying to plan how the CMLP, the town, National Grid could work together to provide central geothermal heating in a district. And we may get some support from MAPC to study that along with some other MLP communities. They're putting it in a grant that they're submitting this week.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad.
Ellen Quackenbush. I am co-chair of the Real Estate Tax Exemption Task Force. And I wanted to actually talk about 3 different work streams that we have. First is data collection. We're trying to create kind of a master database of single-family, 2-family, 3-family houses in town by value, and that's from the assessor's database, and we're combining that with the annual census. And the census gives us age of residents, so we'll be able to know houses by age, and also, really importantly, renters. So we're hoping we'll be able to identify who lives where, ages. What we miss, and we will have to get via surveys, is income. What we're also adding in is those people who got the real estate tax exemption last year. And interestingly, 67%, like 2/3 of people applied and received it. Highest in the middle range, $1 to $2 million houses. Lower, 60% on either end. And we're trying to understand why. Is that because people had secondary houses which aren't eligible for the RTE, or is it lack of awareness? So that's the first data stream. And then we have 2 interviews that we're doing that I'm pretty excited about. The first is interviewing residents, at this point homeowners, and we will be talking to them about we've got 80 people that the task force members have nominated that think they will be interesting candidates to learn more about. We'll ask them, why did you move to Concord? Why did you select the house you're living in? And do you feel financial stress, cost stress in staying in your home? And drilling down to more detail, have you considered maybe in the next 10 years moving out? And would you be moving to another location in Concord or moving out of the town altogether? And then finally asking if they had applied for the RTE and what the impact of that would be. So that's the one work stream. The second interview work stream is to go out and talk to other towns and get their experiences with RTE. Those folks that have RTE now, which is Watertown, Brookline, Waltham. Those that looked at the RTE and did not adopt it, which is Lexington, and then Acton and Sudbury that don't have the RTE, and just asking what they were thinking about that. So the idea is we'll go out and survey people to figure out how they feel about the housing costs in town, get other towns' experience, and then in the fall, we're hoping that we will do a survey of residents to kind of fill in some of the gaps. Lexington did a survey. They thought they would get 400 respondents. They got 1,400. So we're optimistic that this survey will get us an idea of the cost stress people feel in town, some range of what they think their house would sell for, and most importantly, some range of income. So then we'll have the pieces to be able to model what the impact of the RT is and to provide ultimately a metric for measuring that going forward.
When will the survey go out, Ellen?
Excuse me?
When will the survey go out?
That would be in the fall.
Fall, okay, thank you.
Keith Bergman, Chair of the Concord Municipal Affordable Housing Trust. Earlier this week, we had a quarterly housing roundtable, very well attended. The housing groups hosted a discussion with the MCI Concord team, which was very enlightening. The slide deck that the trust presented at that roundtable is available at our webpage at the town website. I'm just going to hit a few highlights. First, we always check in on where the subsidized housing inventory is. When we last met at a chair's breakfast, it was 12.8. It's now 13.34, but it was not, but the journey that got us there is worth explaining. The 12.8 represented the, and that's above the 10% goal. That represented the approval of the Novo 40B a year ago. On April 4th, we went to 16.1 with the approval also of the thorough 40B by the ZBA. A few days later, we were down at 13.32 because the Novo 40B fell off because they had not pulled their building permit in the first year. and our time the most recent thing is as Stefan said, that we added 2 rental units from Assabet. So that gets us to where we are now. The trust is doing some goal setting with our roundtable partners and working with the Mass Housing Partnership. Because one of the things, as we've discussed here, one of the things that we've diagnosed is even when the town is above 16% for its subsidized housing inventory, that most of that housing will be, that's countable on the SHI, will be market rate. And it's less than half that would be capital A, deed restricted as affordable, up to 80%. So we're focusing on the select board's goal of workforce housing, and we're going to give ourselves credit for the, to date, 46 workforce housing units, which are already deed restricted between 100 and 150% of AMI. Those don't count on the SHI. They're not in the 16%. But we're looking at we're floating the idea of reaching a numerical goal of having 10% of our year-round housing stock be capital A affordable. That we're, when both 40Bs are online, we'll be at about 7.3%. What does it take us to get to 10%? It takes us about 200 units. Enter the 2 other important goals that the select board are doing of the once-in-a-generation initiatives of MCI Concord and the land use matrix. So through that very comprehensive, thorough process, there's going to be some kind of development decisions made, and as those are made, and to the extent that some of those decisions involve additional housing, where the housing groups are just holding up our hands and saying, we'd like to see some of that is affordable. So thanks to everyone for their efforts. Special shout out to Public Works Commission and Sven for their help with Assabet River Bluff, and always with the Housing Authority and the CHDC for their help.
Thank you, Keith.
Peter Lowett, Concord Housing Development Corporation. We're also celebrating, along with Stefan, 406 Old Marlborough Road. We actually hope to have the books wrapped up sometime by the end of June, so really excited about that. And we're paying close attention to the Junction Village component of the MCI Advisory Board efforts, and hopefully we'll be having a celebration of the 406 Old Marlborough Road sale at some point in the near future. And that's about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter.
Alan Bogosian, Historical Commission. We, as well, are looking for new members to increase the amount of commissioners. We're also keeping our hands in the MCI and also with the Wright Tavern, but not for the flags that were flying at the Wright Tavern last week. And the big thing that we're going to present to the town in the next couple months is our historical preservation plan. So that's what we're working on.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, Mark Galis, Chair of the Transportation Advisory Committee. So the committee did respond to a request for comments and input on the MCI redevelopment, and so we submitted that. One of the main things TAC's been doing recently is working to support the Article 8 bonding authorization article for road and sidewalk maintenance and incorporating safety improvements. I hope to speak in favor of that at some point in some fashion at town meeting. And TAC wrote and approved a letter of support that's included in the briefing book. Another action that we're doing is working with our Community Development Director, Ms. Elisa Sandoval, who is managing the comprehensive transportation plan effort with the planning group at Stantec Consultants, and hopefully some more specific recommendations of the kind of improvements to key corridors and safety improvement needed locations in town will be forthcoming. This is also being coordinated. TAC's trying to help staff coordinate this with the separate Stantec engineering study that evaluated conditions of roads and sidewalks and developed the models for showing the beneficial financial impact and quality of roads impact of the Article 8 supported plan. Potentially in the fall, when some of these recommendations coming out of these combined studies and tax work identify projects to the extent that they can be explained, put forward to the public for consideration, we may have a possibly joint public meeting with Public Works to kind of go over this, answer questions, et cetera. One other thing, at our May 15th meeting, TAC decided to ask me to continue as chair after town meeting, so I'll be continuing for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Hi, I'm Nancy Brown, and with Rose, I am co-chair of the DEIB Commission. And Rose told you about our work, but I'll fill in a couple things. We participated in the 250th parade and celebration, and I'd like to say that was a wonderful time for Concord. I was very proud of our community, and I think we have a lot to be proud of. But I think we should also recognize that these are difficult times, and we, like everyone else, are going to face challenges, and particularly challenges to DEIB work. That's a term one is not supposed to use at the federal level. We have several things coming up, and I'm confident we will have great turnout. There's the Pride celebration on June 7th, Juneteenth on June 19th, India Day, August 16th, and Race Amity Day on August 24th. So let's all join together and be a strong community.
Thank you, Nancy.
Christina Kendrick with the chair of the COA, Council on Aging. We talked about in the near future being more involved in the events coming up like the AG, and we have a new brochure coming out. We've just proved it, so we want to make more of a presence at the Concord events, so to try to get more attention to the COA. We are going to also extend in September, October to have one late night for the COA hours to try to attract people, younger people in their 60s, and offer some activities to them, even for their aging parents as well too. And then mostly last night at our meeting, we discussed the issues coming up at the town board meeting, and we do have next month a potential new board member attending. So that's it.
Great, thank you, Christina.
Hello, I'm Randy Kring. I'm the chair of the Board of Health.
Our meeting is tonight, so limited updates from me, but this is will be my last meeting as chair. Our new chair will be Jim Whalen, starting next month, or after town meeting, I should say. And he's been on the board for several years, and I think he'll do a great job. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we're promoting mental health in our community. Concord has hired a mental health clinician named Juliet J, who has started recently, and she's available to support the mental health needs of the community. The Board of Health has prepared flyers about her services, as well as other mental health resources available to people in the town, so we're working on distributing those. Our meeting tonight, we will be reviewing the amenities building for health code, so that's an important thing we'll be doing. We're also, the food inspections are now focusing there was a polystyrene ban that was passed for food establishments to basically focus on environmentally friendly materials for food takeout, and that was paused during COVID and is now being reinforced with health inspections. So that's a positive thing. We also have been reviewing data from the Community Health Needs Assessment that was done in the last few months, and one big theme that has come up from that is walkability in town as being both for kind of general health of the community, but also accessibility to the resources around town. So that's something that we've discussed as a board and trying to kind of work with the MCI development and everything to promote walkability, kind of a focus especially between Concord and West Concord.
Very good.
And then finally, this is kind of somewhat peripheral to the Board of Health, but just making everyone aware, I'm an emergency physician at Emerson Hospital. That's obviously relevant to the health of the town. And Emerson recently announced a Transforming Health project where they're working to raise funds to build a new emergency department, which is very much needed. It's the existing department, I believe, was built in the 70s. It's very small relative to the needs of our community. And so you may see information about that, and I think that'll be a very positive change, hoping to happen over the next few years. So just wanted to share that with everyone.
Great. Thank you,
Thank
Randy. Theo.
Thank you. Theo Kinnemans, I'm chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals. As Keith mentioned, we approved the Thoreau Residences comprehensive permit a short while ago, and with that approval, I think the ZBA's life has returned to normal. And we're back to our regular approvals of special permits, so we'll take them as they come. And as far as goals, I think the goal of the ZBA is not to have any appeals, so that we can stay out of the judicial system. So that's typical. That's on us. So we'll do our best on that. So and that's it. And this, as so many other people have mentioned here now as well, we will have some new offices next after town meeting, and I might or might not be here. So, but thank you very much for welcoming me for the last couple of years at least. So, thank you.
Thank you, Theo. And on that note, I'll say that this will be my last chair's breakfast. It's been one of the best things of the job, is coming here and seeing everything that's happening in Concord, all the good work we do. Some of you will be returning, the lucky people like Mark and Stefan, right? But for many of you, there'll be new officers. So I want to thank you for all the work that we do together to make this, really, this is a special place. So thank you.